BobbethTV is live. You know what that means. We've got another episode. Where's the race? There it is. Another episode coming your way. It's the Aussie Sim Racing, 420 Aussie Sim Racing's GT3 Challenge here at Lime Rock Park. We're in Lakeville, USA. The boys are out there in qualifying as it stands. So let's just get down to the times and stuff, see who's doing what. Luke Fallon, no surprise there. Quick time with the 47.806, 47.956 for Jeff Price and Dean Wright, 48.192. Rob Chandler, Jake did better. Fourth and fifth, Chris Savdoridis in sixth. Ash Rogers up there at seventh. Nice running there, Ash, 49.09. Jacob Frazier, Greg Cook, Darren Justice round out the 10. Or Greg Cook moved himself up to the top six with a 48.376 there. Wade Georgeson's here, Joshua Lee, Cliff Potter. Jason Hutchins is not on the track, but here, Brock Clark out on the track. 16 car field, Jade Connor has not yet taken the track. Now, for those of you who aren't familiar with the road course action, Lime Rock's actually one of the original courses. It is the one of the very first tracks released back in 2008 when iRacing first started. There we go. And yeah, as I say, is in Lakeville, Connecticut. Very short, fast and flowing circuit that does reward precision and momentum driving. So it's basically 2.5 kilometers long with 7 turns. Thereabouts. I don't think we're in the classic, so no chicane this time around. All right, so some of the driving characteristics of the track. Lime Rock is known for being deceptively simple because of its short lap times, but it is very punishing if you make a mistake. Carrying speed through the corners is everything. Coming through this part of the track here, especially as we watch them come through the S's. Now, there is no real rest. It's pretty much non-stop action. There's rare that there's a spot on the track, as you can see on the track map, that you'll get a breather. That bottom part of the track is the straightaway, and that's a pretty fast run. And then under brakes and downshifting into that right-hander. And that right-hand side, the eastern portion of the track, is pretty much a windy uphill climb. If we see where the 37 is on the track map now, that is the downhill portion of that run and then into the sweeper. So you do have to watch that run as well. Now, because the track is so short, managing traffic can be a big part of the racing here at Lime Rock. So let's see if we can find someone. 82 is about to start his lap. Cliff Potter, thank you. So Cliff Potter's going to come in to Big Bend, which is turns 1 and 2. It's a long double apex right-hander at the end of the main straight. Now, important for setting up your lap and holding position in battles. Then he'll come into the S's. That's turn 3 and 4. Fast, flowing direction changing. Chicanes, their car placement is critical. Now we go to the no-name straight. It's not really a straight, but it's a flat-out blast after the S's as we watch him come down through there. It's a great overtaking run if you do nail that exit. Oh, he's crashed. He's come unstuck there. I think the 8 is almost there, but we'll go to the 87 to finish off this run. Jake's coming through the S's now. Onto the no-name straight away. Then you've got the West Bend, which is this part here. That's a slightly blind, fast right-hander, does climb. Then, of course, into the downhill, which is the famous final corner here at Lime Rock. It's a high-speed downhill right that slingshots you onto the main straight. Risk versus reward corner, where small mistakes can cost you huge in lap times. Now, basically, in short, Lime Rock Park is a tight, fast-paced momentum track that punishes mistakes and makes traffic management crucial. Staple for rookies, but still a challenge for veterans in faster cars, which is where we are with the GT3s. They feel bigger around Lime Rock because of the size. It's so short and narrow, with lap times within that 50-second mark or quicker. You're always in a corner or about to be. Now, momentum is key. The GT3s rely on downforce at higher speeds. Lime Rock doesn't really give you much of that, so instead it's about mechanical grip and carrying momentum through the flowing bends. Now obviously we mentioned the traffic. That can be chaos, multi-class races, The GT3 spend the whole time carving through traffic, even in single-class GT3 races like this one. The constant pressure from cars behind it make mistakes very costly. Welcome in, however, hopefully how said holds up was all right for the 2-hour charity race, but was dropped to 50 FPS just then. Oh, yuck. I think Lime Rock would be pretty easy on the eyes, but good luck out there. Hell Reaper in the chat. 9th place, AJ Ash Rogers. 48.829 was his quick time. Good luck to you, brother. Still no Jay Razor out on. Is it Jay Razor? Jay Connor. Sorry, Jay Razor's from another world that I live in. Jay Connor out on the track. Not much time left, so really, I think there's probably enough time for him to get his out lap and his hot lap and his out laps in. But Jay Connor not taking the qualifying field here. Luke Fallon still holding quick time with the 47.776. The other 47s there in the top three, Jeff Price and Jake Better. That man on our screens right now, 47.866 for Jeff. Jake with a 47.898. Let's get through the rest. Greg Cook and Dean Wright, 48.031 and 48.192. Rob Chandler, 48.240 and 48.405 for Jacob Fraser. Chris Savdoridis, 48.581 and 48.829 for Ash Rogers. Darren Justice with a 49.346. And 49.404 for Joshua Lee. Wade Georgeson with a 49.482. 49.853 for Cliff Potter. Brock Clark with a 50.044 and a 50.472 for Jason Hutchins. They're weird. Hang on. Let me just check something real quick. Oh, there we go. Just wanted to reset my fan cams. No, that is the fan cams. I thought I had some other ones as well. Alas. Chris Savdoridis coming through the S's there. Greg Cook. There's Ash Rogers. Just behind him, the fourth place, Greg Cook. 48.031, running a 48.125 at the moment. As we come to the tail end of qualifying, will be an hour-long battle here at Lime Rock Park tonight for the GT3 Challenge. Just a month to go. 3 more races after this one to decide the GT3 Challenge champion. I think we did have a look at some results the other week, but I don't think they were updated. No. We're told that we're going to get sorted out, so let's have a quick look, see how that's looking. 12-round competition. Can't see. Just trying to find the races that are there. Yeah, everything it does look up to date. So as we get ready to cross over to our hour-long battle here, let's go over the current standings in this competition. 352 points. Luke Fallon, our race leader, and Vito Gripper, 306 in second, and third, Dean Wright with 302. So look for Dean to want to sort of close that gap. We don't want to wish any ill on anyone, but he needs Luke Fallon to fall considerably down this 15, 16 car field to rank up on those points. All right, they're starting to grid up. I didn't notice. Whoops, my bad. Let's get that running. All right, front row here tonight for the 420 Austin Racing GT3 Challenge at Lima Rock Park. Luke Fallon and Jeff Price. Second row, Jake DeBetta and Greg Cook. Dean Wright and Rob Chandler on that third row. Fourth row, Jacob Fraser and Chris Savdoridis. Ash Rogers and Darren Justice on that fifth row there. Sixth row will be Joshua Lee and Wade Georgeson. Behind them, Cliff Potter and Ram Jam, I was going to say. Cliff Potter and Block Clark on the seventh row. Eighth row, Jason Hutchins and Jay Connor. But I don't believe Jay's taking the field here tonight. So, yeah, it looks like a 15-car field. Jason Hutchins on the rear by himself. Just waiting for Wade Georgeson and Darren Justice also to take the field. All right, looks like still waiting for Wade Georgeson, Jay Connor to take the field. That is making the race time count itself out. We will get this battle going in just a moment. Is it 3 minutes? It was like 2 minutes for the race start to kick over, but no, it's still counting down. Oh, it looks like Wade Georgeson. There we go. Okay, so all registered online drivers have taken the field. We are a go. So these cars are going to build up some pretty significant speed coming into the first. I need to get a bit wider on those cameras because that is going to be terrible. What do we got? Let's say this one here. As you build up pretty much some good speed into turns 1 and 2, the hell loop there, hell turn, it is one that you really can't take too quick. And then likewise coming into the S's, that entry and that little bit of a lip there can cause some problems. Of course, we've got the downhill run here. We'll stick with Luke. Yeah, literally, it snaps you out. You're right outside there a little bit. You can bring it back. And then it is literally just a repeat over and over again. This is such a fun track. I do enjoy it. So if they do, what, 40 seconds, 49 seconds a lap, 60 minutes, that's at least 60 laps at Lime Rock. This is going to be a doozy. We watch him come up over that hill. That's the 37 at Dean Wright. He's in 6th place in the race, 3rd place in the season leaderboard. So definitely looking to close that gap between 1st place Luke Fallon and himself. With 1st place in the race and in the season. Up ahead of Dean Wright, that's Jacob Fraser on the right. There behind them is Ram Jam, Cliff Potter and Ash Rogers. Oof, not a good view up the back uphill climb there as the hill gets in the way. Looks like Rob had to go to the pits. Not sure what for. Don't see any crashes or anything on the telemetry. Take a little bit for this race to settle in. Oh, I did get the conditions. What was that? Ah, that's right. So yeah, about 72 laps, 50% fuel. Everyone will need at least one stop. So that will be the interesting component of this race. When do you take that stop? Do you take it a little bit early? Do you try and ride it out and save some fuel? It's Greg Cook and Jeff Price are there. Greg Cook in third, Jeff Price second. Luke Fallon already built up a 1.5 second lead over Jeff Price, the green machine that you can see at the bottom of your screen there. Super cheap auto red and yellow Ferrari. That is Jeff Cook. A 1 second lead, actually not really that big. On paper, it sounded massive, but there's Luke Fallon there. I mean, it's a bit of distance to close off on a 49, 50-second lap sort of run. Whoa! Greg Cook doing a wheel stand there. Do not see that often in road course racing. Oh, it looks like Jason Hutchins has been our first victim to the track. Let's have a look. Oh, it looks like he was already... Ah, here we go. Just got a little bit too much speed. Nice drift up onto the turn, but it just didn't stick, unfortunately. And spinning out there, it looks like Jason Hutchins officially the first victim of the hill. Andy Williams, morning, brother. Or evening for me, but yes, morning for you, Andy Williams, one of the drivers with Knuckles iRacing League. Bringing over the YouTube chat. You can catch him. Can we catch you tomorrow, late models? Or tonight for you? Motorwear International Limited late models at Lincoln Speedway. That is the race broadcast tomorrow morning, Australian time. The evening US. Right, sorry about that. Got distracted for a moment. It's really digging up at the front is where not often the race is. Generally the first few cars get out there and get amongst it and get away from it. But between first and 10th place, there is 27 seconds. Between first and 9th place, 15 seconds. First and 8th, 11. Then 9.7, 7.8 for 6. Top 5, only 5 seconds behind, so really not a lot in it. Wade Georgeson headed in to the pits for a black flag. Nice to get that out of the way. It will not get it out of the way as you can have a black flag and do it, but get in and out of the pits, get that black flag served. You don't want it hanging over your head for a lap or two. Jeff Price really not letting Luke Fallon rest on his morals as laurels. I'm really bad today. Looks like yeah, he's got that lead down. It was down to about 0.6 of a second. It's back up to about 8-9 tenths of a second now. But that is definitely Jeff Price chipping away. Oh, looks like Jay Connor has. No, I thought Jay Connor had taken the track. Looked like he lit up on our screens. Just trying to. There we go. Go through the field here. There's Jason Hutchins. He's currently in 15th place. 14th is Wade Georgeson just there. Jason 3 laps down, Wade 2 laps down. Then we move up to the lead lap. Rob Chandler. There he is there in the Shell Dunlop 17. In 13th place. God, I can't remember numbers well. Joshua Lee there in the Mercedes. He's currently in 12th. Anime looking car there. Chris Savdoritis up here in 11th place. He's in that purple machine with the Homer Simpson stuff on the side. Who else we got? Oh, thanks for the follow, Matty Hattie 02. Appreciate you. Give me a moment and I will check in with you. Darren Justice into the 171 machine. Up to Brock Clark there in the red Ferrari, the classic red. He's in 9th place. Sorry, Darren was in 10th. Ash Rogers currently in 8th. There's Cliff Potter just ahead of him. Didn't even need to change cameras, really. Not that far ahead of them. Jacob Fraser. And we get to our top 5. There's Dean Wright, Jake Better, Greg Cook, and then the top 2, Jeff Price. Oh, getting that nose airborne. Luke Fallon, our race leader. All right, I did see your comments, but okay, yeah. Hey, I'm Silky, one of the top streamers on Twitch. Just checked out your stream for the first time. I can see real potential in what you're doing. I'd love to share some of the strategies that help me grow my channel to the top. Let's connect on Discord. All right, let's do a social experiment, folks. Let's go to twitch.tv. Matty Harry 02 has, let's have a look, about 0 followers. So Silky, top streamer on Twitch, has come into my chat on a secret account so that he doesn't get called out, but then calls out himself as being the top streamer on Twitch. You see the problem with that scam, Matty? Do you see the problem with that? No, we won't connect on Discord. Thanks, though. All right, lap 14. Over 10 minutes into this race, over a sixth of the way into this hour-long battle. So a lot of racing to come. The boys won't even consider sort of pitting, possibly. Well, 50% fuel. A lot of these guys good at saving fuel. I reckon. Oh, Cliff Potter off track there. I reckon that they should be all good with the make it to the halfway mark at least. So around the 30-minute mark, I imagine it will be the time we start seeing cars going in. Wade Georgeson has parked it. I love watching that that little blip as they come up over that hill. They're not scared to get that nose up. The Ferraris and stuff, because they're a little pointier than aerodynamic, they get that nose right up. 17 Rob Chandler just there ahead of our race leader Luke Fallon. Not a lot of spots you can give up track position to allow guys to get by. without really screwing yourself. So this one's going to be interesting. I reckon once we get to the final turn down here off this straightaway, we'll move down the line a bit. And no, where Rob Chandler showing. Oh, that nose getting loose. Someone's going to come unstuck. And look, I don't want it to be anyone, but you kind of needed to be Rob Chandler. Luke Fallon, our race leader, Rob Chandler. He is almost a lap down if Luke can get by him. Jeff Price, Greg Cook, sorry, back there as well, not that far behind Luke. So this, yeah, time is of the essence. The only real passing portion I know of or that I use is down this, off this right-hander here. If you run them hard on the outside line down through there, you can sort of straighten it out a lot more and get by them on the inside here. But, oh! Well, that is what happens when you carry a lot of speed around a turn. You have no business carrying a lot of speed around there. Rob Chandler has taken that one to the pits and called it. That was a very hard slam into that wall. Just the 13 cars remain in this race. Jay Connor didn't take the field. Wade Georgeson, unfortunately, at 9 laps ago. Rob Chandler 2 laps down. He is retired and called his Lime Rock adventure done and done. Oh, tree cam. Sorry about that, folks. There's Ash Rogers and the, is that the 91, I believe, of Jason Hutchins? No, he's ahead of them. It wouldn't be Luke Fallon. That's definitely a double-digit number. 82, Cliff Potter, maybe. Would make sense being that Cliff Potter is in that position. All right, there's Jeff Price getting past some more lap traffic there. The 62 machine getting past, who is that? Tell might be, let's see, if that's Ash there, that could be Jacob Fraser. It's Joshua Lee, sorry. Lap traffic. I'll get my stuff going properly soon. Come up on the 15-minute mark, quarter of the way into this race. 19 laps. About at least 75, so maybe what, 35-ish will be pit time? Greg Cook, unhired racing, the 10 car, Supercheap Auto 10 car. In third place, you jump back to Ash Rogers. Currently running in 7th. He's 2 spots up from his qualifying position of 9th. He's got Cliff Potter right there behind him. About 5 seconds ahead, Jacob Fraser, but that can change on this track pretty quickly. Getting airborne again up over that hill. It is fun watching the Ferraris and that come up over it. Cliff Potter in the Lambo. No, Porsche, sorry. Porsche. Bob, it's not a Lambo, it's a Porsche. Ash in the Ferrari. Why so serious? 3-1-2 machine. Currently 13th spot. Jason Hutchins, Joshua Lee 12th. Darren Justice in 11th. I love watching that. Chris Savdoridis in 10th. Brock Clark 9th. These two men in 8th and 7th. Cliff Potter, the orangey car behind, and the purple Ferrari in front. Ash Rogers in 6th. Jacob Fraser, top 5. Dean Wright. Then 4th, Jake DeBetta. Top 3, Greg Cook, Jeff Price, Luke Fallon, our current race leader. Battle between Cliff and Ash has been going on for laps now. This battle here also Greg Cook, Jeff Price, sorry. Get the names around the right order. Two of the main battles taking place on the track. About now, I imagine they'll be looking at their fuel and just seeing exactly how well they've saved that fuel and where they've sort of expected to be around this point, around the 20-minute mark. Third of the race in, 2/3 still to come. Hour-long battle here at Lima Rock Park. Oh, that super cheap auto almost took flight. Greg Cook not scared to just hold it flat up over that bit. You can just let off and let it run over it. But where's the fun in that? Jeff Price coming up on lap traffic there. There's the 171 at Darren Justice. No, it's not. That's the 6 of Chris Savdoridis. I'm an idiot. Where did I get 171 from? Oh, he's behind the pack. Greg Cook getting around to that lap traffic car. Looks like the lap traffic car unfortunately went down to the grass. The Mercedes at Benz. Joshua Lee. Chris Savdoridis, sorry. There's the other. Oh, sorry, Chris. I just saw the only Mercedes I saw on the leaderboard, but I didn't see your name there and I missed it. I definitely need to put a coffee in with the kiosk front desk. Ash and Cliff. As I say, a couple of battles all around the track. Chris Savdoridis, Darren Justice, Cliff Potter, Ash Rogers. Then you've got Greg Cook and Jeff Price. continue to try and bring them to you. Speaking of Jeff Price and Greg Cook, here they are. Jesus, they get some good air on that jump. McLaren versus Ferrari. That was always the thing when I was a kid. McLaren, Ferrari, and Lamborghini. Still 13 cars in this. Originally signed up 16 drivers. 15 took the feature field for this hour-long battle here at Lima Rock Park. It is the 9th round of the GT3 Challenge Season 1. Who will be the first ever champion? Currently, Luke Fallon holds a 50-odd point lead on the leaderboard. Vito Gripper is in a second, not here tonight. Third place is Jeff Price. No, Dean Wright, sorry, Dean Wright. My God, Bob. As we watch Jakey Better coming up on that is Gustav de Ritter's lap of traffic, but he does have a lot of cars coming up behind him as well, so looking to keep that run. There's Dean Wright, the 5th place car, all the way back at the traffic there, the blue car we saw briefly. Give me one moment, folks. I've just got to step away from the mic for 2 moments, 1 second. Wrong button. All right, I'm back. Sorry about that. There we go. I think I'm back now. Let's have a look at where we're at. We're at lap 33, coming up on the halfway mark of this battle. 26 minutes in, almost 27. Let's do the pit lap thing and just double check, see if anyone's been in. No, just Jason Hutchins back on lap at 3. That is not going to be enough. But we will look to see, we'll start to see them heading in very soon. Submitted my coffee order with the boss lady. Not a lot has changed positional-wise. Rob Chandler, Rob Chandler, Wade Georgeson, Jay Connor obviously did no longer in at the race 13-car field. So Jason Hutchins in 13th, Joshua Lee currently 12th, Darren Justice in 11th, Chris Savdoridis in 10th. Why do I get the hiccups the most inopportune times? Brock Clark currently in 9th, Cliff Ramjam Potter in 8th, Ash AJ Rogers in 7th, Jacob Fraser in 6th, our top 5, Dean Wright 4th, Jake did better. Our podium positions at the moment: Greg Cook in 3rd, Jeff Price 2nd, and Luke Fallon in 1st. Jeff Price and Greg Cook there. So Brock Clark ahead of them in that unmistakable red Ferrari. Was off to the side of the track. That's going to allow Jeff through. Maybe not Greg, but Jeff definitely. Let's try and stay wide without going on the grass. On the accelerator a little bit there, letting the Super Chip Auto Unhired Racing a 10 machine through. Many different adjectives can I use to describe it? Ash Rogers, looking at the leaderboard there, has managed to lock in that battle with Cliff Potter. He's got about a 7-second lead on him now. He's coming up on Jacob Fraser for 6th. So that will be the next battle, I no doubt guess we'll look at. Luke Fallon there with the 82 machine. That's Cliff Potter. That's going to let him through, no problems through the S's. Get back up to speed, continue their own racing going on. Luke Fallon, though, got that lead out to almost 11 seconds. Holy cow. That is definitely going to help when it comes to pit time. Is Jeff going to make a move? He did. Whoa. Oh, no, that was lap traffic. That's 87. Let's check it. But hang on. Confused. I changed cameras too quick and I couldn't keep up with Greg Cook and Jeff Price. As Greg Cook did go past Jeff Price for 2nd place. Ash Rogers, a couple of guys going into the pits. I was going to say Ash Rogers also passing Dean Wright, but Dean Wright, Jacob Fraser, the first 2 guys to go to the pits right around the halfway mark. So they're trying to pin it on that, leave exactly enough to get all the way home. Let's see how that pans out. They've got about anywhere from 90 seconds to 45 seconds to try and regain for any of these other guys get back in the pit. So that's going to be a tough ask. Thank you. Coffee delivered straight to the studio. Bobbeth Eats. Uber Bob. Welcome in, Shrub God. Evening, dude. Where are we tonight? We are in Lakeville, USA, Lima Rock, Lakeville, Connecticut. We're in the fancy part of USA. We're at Lima Rock Park for the GT3 challenge for the eSIM Racing. So they've recently rebranding. We are just over halfway into said battle, hour-long battle here at Lima Rock Park. Very short, narrow track. So it has just been non-stop racing. Looks like Luke Fallon, Greg Cook, Jake D. Better going into the pits as well on that last lap. It's 50% fuel, so 1 stop needed. Must be done. We won't get to the end of the race. Let's have a look. Just trying to see who's back out on at the track. Jake did better. If he can get that distance covered, he might do okay. Luke Fallon looks like he's about to exit the pits though, so maybe not. But we've still got Brock Clark and Jeff Price, the current race leader. But I'd stay out there, Jeff, for a little bit. Just enjoy that race lead. Oh, no, there he goes. He's heading on in. He's heading on in. Now look at the track racing via some of our static cams placed around the track. That's if all of them are still there and no one's crashed into one. Good up close and personal sort of views on these cars. I think that should be everyone. Still Brock Clark, because I left the pit lapping stuff up on my screen. Currently watching Dean right here racing his way down the mountain. That looks like the 8 of Joshua Lee there, that is, and Cliff Potter behind him. No, Jacob Fraser, sorry. Different orange or bronze, Bob. That's the Tennessee Whiskey JD car. GT3 Mustang. All right, so Luke Fallon able to get in and out of the pits, had the perfect stop. Kept that race a lead once it was all said and done. There's Greg Cook in second. That's been the battle most tonight. Greg Cook and Jeff Price. Thought the pit stops were going to upset that, but guess not. Brock Clark's still the only guy not to visit the pits yet. Excuse me as I slurp at that coffee. There is Cliff Potter right there. That's the orange machine I was looking for. Yeah, car you see behind him, that is the 8 of Joshua Lee. Let me see the 10 of Greg Cook. Isn't Brock normally 10? Brock Clark's 16 now. Okay. Still a lot of laps to come. We're only just past the halfway mark, 35 minutes into this hour-long battle. And there we go. The Ferrari not failing to disappoint there. There's that little bump just as you come up the hill, but the back of the track. And you can just let off the gas just a moment as you go over it, and you don't really get too crazy on it. There's Brock Clark heading into the pits, saw that momentarily. But the Ferraris and even some of the fastest, some of the other cars like the BMWs have the front wheels are leaving the ground. The Ferraris a lot more noticeable. A lot more noticeable. Let's see how we stay with Greg Cook on this run. And we'll see if we can get another look at it now we know what to look for. It's going to jump up to the 8 of Joshua Lee and the Mercedes. Yeah, just that bit of the track right there. You can sort of see it from the back on. A little bit of just gap between the car and the track. It's nuts. Price racing along there. Greg Cook up ahead of him. Luke Fallon about 16, 18 seconds ahead of these two though. Oh, a great visual of wrong camera angle. If we could get the other side next time, crew, that would be much cooler. But Someone's going to come unstuck with that wheel stand eventually. We've seen a few come close. So mostly the Ferraris, so Darren Justice, Brock Clark, Ash Rogers, Greg Cook, they're the main ones to watch. But some of the other cars not having a trouble getting that nose in the air. Jeff Price there, he's in a McLaren. The car behind him, Jake DeBetter in fourth, he's also in a McLaren. Got a technical looking thing. Jeez, the camera has really loved Jeff. Cycle back through the boys again. Jason Hutchins, of course, in 13th, 12th, Joshua Lee. Savdoritas just coming out of the pits in 11th. And of course, in 10th, Darren Justice ahead of him, Brock Clark in 9th. Cliff Potter is currently in 8th. Jacob Fraser 7th. So Cliff Potter and Jacob Fraser may be the next battle to watch for. Dean Wright, he's up there in 6th. Ash Rogers has made his way up to 5th. We got there just in the nick of time. Thank you, Ash, for that show-off move. Jake DeBetter in 4th. Of course, that car there. Oh, once we get a better angle, come on. There we go. Thank you for waiting on there. Jeff Price in 3rd. Greg Cook up there in 2nd. This man, he is our race leader. Let's pick a car. That one. Let's go with Brock. All right, Brock. Show us what you got, buddy. I'm going to watch you do a lap of Lima Rock Park. Brock Clark is our host. Currently in 9th, the 16 Ferrari. Coming in out of Brisbane, Australia. Good rundown through there, Brock. I did mention earlier that you can really straighten those S's out through that little straightaway. It's not really a straightaway, but it's more like we could call it a breakaway because you can get a run if you get the good line past some of the cars in that section. Exit key, exit onto the start of it is the key. But, Brock Clark showing us how it's done there. Course, automatic camera straight back to 3rd place, Jeff Price. He's trying to catch up to that man right there in the super cheap Ferrari. That is Greg Cook in 2nd place. He's trying to get himself past. That's Cliff Potter there, and I believe the other one is Joshua Lee. Newer driver in the league, so just trying to get used to the numbers and the car setups. You see, that looks like Dean Wright heading into the pits there. No, Dean Wright's a blue car. 62. Jeff Price. Jake DeBetter is going to take over the 3rd place position. Ash Rogers might have a chance of getting some space back here as well. Might be able to battle for that top 4 position. The super cheap in the background, just wheel standing it. Here's our next opportunity in McLaren. That's Jake DeBetter in 3rd. Ash Rogers has got himself up into 4th now. Hard to believe 3 more rounds after tonight before we crown the first ever GT3 champion for the Aussie Sim Racing League. GT3 Challenge. This is the 9th round of 12. Jacob Fraser in the Mustang there. They look a little bit more natural coming over that bump. Some more flighty. I feel like they're actually sort of jumping over it. Having that nose con, yeah, that's got to be scary. Those Ferraris, as I say, they point them right up too. So looks like that was the 91, I believe. Jason Hutchins pulling up, letting everyone up into the entrance of the S's first. Seems to be a couple of battles going on. Here's Greg Cook. Jack Daniels' machine letting him by, but recognising that he can't let everyone by, so had to get back on that gas. Chris Savdoritis in 10th spot behind him, so not really a positional battle, but this track, as I say, is so short, so narrow, so just on the ball that you can't take any chances. You've just got to go, all right, I know he's going to get by, I'll let him by, and then that's it. Also, lap traffic, obviously, if they get in front of you, they hold you up, that's going to allow the guys behind you to catch up as well. So you want to prevent that. Only allow those that you necessarily need by to come on by. Jeff Price has retired. I wonder what happened to Jeff. He's up there really battling with Greg Cook for a while there, and is completely out. So let's see if we can go back. So he ended pit lane there, come off track there. All right, so I think this is it. Let's go jump back to lap 48. And just have a look at Jeff's run through here. It just looks like he might have come a little bit wide. No, that wasn't too bad. I thought he was going to slide in the grass. Might come unstuck down here, because I know this one is if you do enter this corner very quickly. No? Okay. There is the rare moment here if you carry a little bit too much speed, but no, looks good on the brakes. No, it doesn't look like there's anything there, and then it just says he enters pit lane. Hope whatever happened isn't anything too serious. See him back next week. Jason Hutchins is going to get by him very soon, the 91 car. He's both 6 laps down, as we see. It cracks me up every time I watch that happen. I've seen it, what, 50 odd times now to come up to the final 15 minutes of this race. Luke Fallon is going to run away with it, it seems. 20-second lead over second place at this stage. Chris Savdoritis there in 10th place. It's Cliff Potter behind him. Oh, look out, Chris Savdoritis off track there. Coming out a little wide, that slingshot. Yeah, if you hold a little bit too much speed and the car just wants to pull to the outer sort of part of the turn, that slingshot will shoot you straight into the grass. One of the tracks I do know by the like the back of my hand. In fact, it's not even my favourite configuration of this track. The chicane configuration. If you can see as they come down here, you'll see some ridges hatched to the right. And another part of the track, there's a little chicane there that can be quite tricky to take at speeds that leads to the uphill climb instead of that wide sweeper. And yeah, it is my preferred configuration of this track. It just, I don't know, I like it. It's how I learned it. You get a little bit complacent on that sweeper version. Look, Jason Hutchins having to stop in to the pits to serve a black flag drive through there. Is going to hold him up in the battle for 12th place, but there we go. Officially will take 12th as he gets to the exit of pit lane and gets ready to rejoin this race. Still has the black flag though, so may need it to go back through. Joshua Lee up there in 11th. Chris Savdoridis, that man on our screens, is in 10th. Will stand heaven. Darren Justice 9th. Brock Clark currently in 8th. Cliff Potter in 7th. Jacob Fraser in 16. Right, 5th. Ash Rogers up there in the top 5 with a 4th spot run. They are all a lap down from there. The lead laps, though, Jake DeBetter, Greg Cook, 3rd and 2nd. Luke Fallon currently our race leader. Potter really wanting to get by Chris Savdoridis so we can continue that battle up ahead with Jacob Fraser in 6th. But for the time being, not like Chris is holding him up, but yeah, Cliff's still back there behind him. The 61st lap has officially started as the 9-car Luke Fallon crosses the start-finish line and continues on his winning ways, leading the GT3 Challenge leaderboard, leading tonight's race by 21 seconds. As we see Chris Savdoridis going off track, Cliff Potter's going to get by him. Let's see how fast Cliff can get that machine down to that corner there, because that is his next opponent, the one machine, Jacob Fraser. Greg Cook there, the 171 of Darren Justice, I believe. Yeah. In the white Ferrari up ahead. Forgot about coffee. Knew there was something I was supposed to be sipping. So Chip Auto 10, Greg Cook, unhired racing. Pretty intense battle with Jeff Price earlier, well, for most of that first half of the race, really, but been able to sort of just drive the track the way he's wanted since then. His next opponent is about 16 seconds behind, Jake DeBetter in 3rd. Right now, it's pretty much car versus track and most of the spots around the place. So Cliff and Chris running very similar lines. Chris able to catch back up to Cliff. That's too many C names. And seems to be putting on sort of a similar battle. Like they're not racing for position, but like similar race speeds. Less than 10 minutes remain in this battle. Two minutes in, 8 remain. So about nine laps to go. Another one of those races where that first half really sort of building that foundation for your battle and then getting that pit stop, getting back out, and that pretty much determined the second half of the race racing order for the rest of the race. Jeff Price, unfortunately, retiring. Not sure if he blew the engine or we had a look at some telemetry to see if we could see any issues, but couldn't determine the cause. But he retired 15 laps ago, was up there in top 3. You never like to see that. Ooh, I think we might be jinxing the top 3 there. Greg Cook going off track. I think these two racing for positional battle, but one is the 6 car of Chris Savdoritas. That's the purple machine. The orange one in front is the 7th place Cliff Potter in the 82 machine. There is a lap difference between these two guys. But racing like they owe each other money. I don't want to jinx him because he's 5 spots up, but we haven't checked in with Ash Rogers in a while. Made his way up into 4th place when the pitting was sort of all said and done. So whatever strategy he had, it worked. Now, which way the camera pans through that section, or if it's an actual thing. Seems to looks like it drops frames as they go through there at one little spot. Final 5 minutes of this race. All right, we won't stick with Ash too long. We don't want to jinx him. Tree cam. Oh, yeah, you'd definitely pick that little booth as your steward spot, wouldn't you? Like, you'd see some excellent two-wheel action. Wind down into the last 3 or so laps, 4 laps. Not a lot has changed. Luke Ballon, Greg Cook, Jake Better. They are the contending top 3. Ash Rogers currently in 4th, Dean Wright 5th. Jacob Fraser in 6th, Claire Cliff Potter 7th, Brock Clark 8th, 9th, Darren Justice. Looks like Chris Savdoridis in 10th, but in the pits currently, so Joshua Lead may be able to get a spot up there. He does. So Chris will fall to 11th. Joshua will move up into 10th. Jason Hutchins, the last car on the track, currently in 12th. There's Greg Cook there. Looks like he's got Ash Rogers up ahead of him. Oh, no. No. So Ash Rogers go off track there, trying to avoid the 10 Super Cheap. But looks like Dean Wright just back there behind him now. So that is going to be a battle for the final 2 minutes. Can Ash Rogers hold on for a top 4 finish? A top 5 finish will be amazing. Will be the definitely not the outcome he was expecting. But top 4 would be excellent. Dean Wright currently contending for the top 3 of the championship, so to finish ahead of a top 3 championship driver. That is a morale booster right there. The Super Cheap Auto Ferrari gets past the Flash Red Ferrari. That is Greg Cook and Brock Clark. Lap 73, so I reckon one more lap before our white flag lap. No, one more. Yeah. Next lap, 74 will be our white flag, so 75 will be our finish. Is what I was trying to say if I could English properly. Keeping an eye on that leaderboard and the track map for the 3-1-2 and the 37. Good mates with the 3-1-2 driver, so you're going to be unbiased, sorry, when you're a professional broadcaster, commentator. But no, look, yeah, we've got to spur my boys on. Top 4 finish, that is going to be awesome. Give him shit about it to him. Why didn't you finish top 3? But to the public, we'll celebrate him for doing so well. That's not jinxing. Oh no, this is the white flag lap. It looks like, oh, maybe they will. Let me jump up to Luke. Just because I want to see, because he's coming down the back portion of the track now. So see if they check and flag him. The race didn't start for about 3 minutes of race time. So no, it is. It's going to call the checkered flag. There he goes. I thought he was going to lose it there. I panicked internally, but he just, flashing the lights, celebrating for me. Luke Fallon is our winner here tonight at Lima Rock Park. The GT3 Challenge title is safely in his hands with 3 races to go at this stage. It's going to take a bit of racing over those next 3 weeks. Vito Gripper and Dean Wright. Dean Wright's going to move up a little bit. Vito, he's not going to close that gap any. Watch the last few cars sort of getting the checkered flag. Jake Better will get the checkered flag to officially score in 3rd. Potter will take home 7th. As we come to an end, that's been the Aussie Sim Racing GT3 Challenge. I don't know why that was such a mouthful, and it shouldn't have been, but it was. So here we are. But our official results for the night: 16 cars registered for the race. Only 15 took the starting field. Jay Connor officially in 16th. Wade Georgeson finished 15th. Rob Chandler in 14th. Jeff Price 13th. Jason Hutchins in 12th. Chris Savdoridis in 11th. Joshua Lee 10th. Lurker Racing's Darren Justice in 9th. Brock Clark in 8th. Ram Jam Cliff Potter in 7th. Jacob Fraser in 6th. Antipodina Racing's Dean Wright in 5th. Track Limits Racing, Ash Rogers. Congratulations, Ash. Top 5 finish, highest finish for the season in 4th. Jake DeBetta in 3rd. Unhired Racing's Greg Cook in 2nd. But Tickford Racing's Luke Fallon, in a class of his own, takes out the victory here at Lima Rock Park. Thank you for the follow, Joshua 1KS. Appreciate you, brother. Coming just at the end of the broadcast. So I guess basically, yeah, look, we'll be back again at this time next week, 8 o'clock. We'll about 10 to 8 Australian time for next week's GT3 challenge. Holy crap, and a Prime sub. Jesus, thank you, brother. Oh my gosh. Appreciate you. You're a legend. Now my favorite, I don't care. Sorry, fans. Joshua's just taken it. He is Bobbeth's fan of the month for August. Um, we'll contact you for the prizes. There are no prizes. Thank you, dude. Appreciate it, man. If you're here to watch someone, let me know, and in the future, I'll make sure definitely if they didn't get enough highlighting tonight that they do. But we'll be back again tomorrow morning, Australian time, around about 9:45 in the morning for the Knuckleheads iRacing League's limited late models, Motorwear International limited late models. So if you like long late model racing, then long form, late model race, that's too many hours. Then yeah, definitely come and check that out. That's for Knuckleheads iRacing League. We'll be back again Tuesday night for round 10 of the GT3 challenge. I do understand, I believe the V8 supercars, the Gen 3 V8 supercars, are back Sunday night for season 5, but I'm not certain what the schedule on that is. So I'll talk to the boys and we'll let you know, but that might be back Sunday night as well. So definitely give us a follow on BobbethTV, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, however you're watching, and you'll be able to stay up to date with whatever I'm doing. If you do follow Twitch, that is the main one that I use for gaming. I game with Shrubs. I didn't give you a shout out earlier, Shrubs. I feel terrible. And I can still do it now, but I'm not. Uh, sorry, I'm in a dumb mood. But yeah, that's us for the night, Bobbeth TV. Hey, how good! Congrats! No, look, Hell Reaper, that's such a sick run, man. Well done. Lime Rock Park is a fun track, and if you settle in and read it well, you can just surprise yourself, and you did it. And you had some sick wheel stands as well up the backstretch. Were a couple where it looked like you're going to lose it, but oh God, now I'm getting guilted by the mod team. They're all like, "No, Bob, we quit." And I'm like, "Why?" And they're like, "Because you won't give Shrub got a shout out." So I'll give Shrub got a shout out before we wrap up. No, seriously, check him out. Last streaming rematch, but does a lot of single player stuff, does some multiplayer stuff with myself and Griff the Merciless, who's another person who no doubt was lurking here tonight. But definitely give him a follow. Definitely much more worthy of the following. He does some really cool stuff and has great mates. Really good tasting friends. But apart from that, that's me. I'm Bob. You know the drill. Love you all. We'll see you next time. Bye.